Hello there.
Alright.
My name is Daisy Elm and this is my brother Derek Elm.
Alright.
We're filming today because of unusual, rare and some might say dangerous circumstances.
I can't stand close to anyone anymore.
Yeah, to be fair Derek though, that rule was implemented before the current lockdown, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
In usual circumstances, we are employed as maverick tour guides in our beloved Deptford. But we don't do any of that sort of boring, historical, blue badge shit. You won't be able to find the stuff that we know about if you Google it, and you won't find it on Wiki either. Oh no, it's all up here.
And in here.
Yeah.
And down here.
No, not down, further down. No, Derek. It's just up here and in here. Carry on.
Yeah. So, what we normally do in our walks is provide you with a wealth of historical information and useful facts, as well as a slight workout guaranteeing you a slight to medium sweat on.
That's right, Derek. But unfortunately we can't do that at the moment, can we?
No. And I'm very sad.
And you see, I can't keep planting cress all day in every available plastic container in an effort to ensure that we have an alternative nutritional source should the shelves of Lidl empty out. And Derek here, well, he can't keep watching experimental nature programmes about the pansexuality of bonobos all day and all night like he has been doing. And anyway, we've got dial-up internet and it is beginning to strain under demand.
Yes. So what we thought was, why don't we give you, the audience, a guided tour of our historical ancestral home and put it out there on the computer waves.
That's right. We do have a lot of historical stories.
And we have bibliography.
And a lot of mysterious stories too. Things of great mystery what happened within these very walls.
So, come join us and enter our first episode of our web series. Come walk with us. Please pay us now. Who's going to switch it off, Daisy? We're both. Is someone going? Is no one to switch it off? Is there? Hello.
Entertainment wasn't always like now with box sets and streaming. In the olden days you had to make a real effort. You'd pack your own homemade fish paste sandwiches, put on a clean pair of drawers and polish your penny for entrance.
A different world, a better world.
Well, not better really, Derek. It was a lot worse for a lot of people.
A shittier world, a shit world.
Yeah, but it's gone now, so we can talk about it fondly and just pick out the bits we like. Now, please do gather round. Make sure, I suggest that you're erect, that is, you're standing upright and with a nice straight spine. And don't crowd the history, make sure that everyone can see. In the late 19th century, our home was a lodging house or a doss house for all the sort of actors, hoofers, sparkles, singers, artists, prostitutes, mollywanglers, magicians, musicians, contortionists and murderers who performed at the Star Music Hall on Neckinger Road, which is just a little way down that way. Now, one of the most famous entertainers was a lovely lady called Judith Bigstiff. Here she is here, one of our own from Deptford. She was a mollywangler.
What's a mollywangler?
Thank you very much for asking, Derek. Back then, if you did animal impersonations, where you did the mannerisms or the sounds of any creature from the animal kingdom, that profession was known as a mollywangler, and that is exactly what Judith did. She was so popular that she became a very, very great favourite of our very own Queen Victoria, who is said to particularly enjoy her hedgehog channeling. Queen Victoria could be heard crying out loudly, "Ew! She prickles my bustle!" And that could be heard 2 floors down in the lower pantry of Buckingham Palace, and to half give the cook a fright. Now, the seal of royal approval, unfortunately, did go to Judith Bigstiff's head. She went a bit wild with it. She started throwing her own excrement from the top window of Evelyn Street onto innocent passers-by, shouting, "Wedge my hedge, you muckers." Nobody knew what that meant, but they were very scared. She also started taking to slithering into her landlady's bed after midnight, hissing and strangling her in the manner of a boa constrictor. However, the landlady did say, actually on the plus side, she was a very good tenant and that she paid her rent on time, and she was a sort of natural animal guard dog. Very useful at a time in Deptford, which we must admit was extremely criminal. Now, to this very day, animal impersonators all over the world honour the memory of their patron saint, Judith Bigstiff, by throwing a piece of their own poo out of a top window at a pre-designated time once a year. People as famous as David Attenborough, John Noakes and Chris Packham are pleased and proud to call themselves Bigstiff boys, naturists who have been influenced and inspired by Judith Bigstiff and her animal impersonations. Now, I've got a treat for you now. Due to my own latent psychic abilities, and because I used Ouija board that I got off Pete on Deptford Market, I've been able to communicate with the long dead spirit of Judith Bigstiff. So what I'm going to be able to do is now recreate some of her famous and best animalisms. Derek will introduce them.
Squirrel. Badger. Aardvark. That's very good, Daisy.
Thank you. I am available for Victorian animal impersonations at private functions after this pestilence has passed, but not yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you please not to wander from the path? If you see the colander raised like so, this is a call to action. This is the reason I'm holding it in the air. It needs to be obeyed. I'm not posturing. It's not Shoreditch now. It's not some trendy walk. This is a normal walk. Okay, good. Now, if you like to look behind us here, you see a classic example of 1930s popular art, which actually features our great aunt Maureen, who was a British film star from June of 1939 to October of 1939. See, due to her political views, which were complicated.
She was a Nazi.
Yep. She did love a stiff, starchy uniform and some long-legged marches, and that's what sadly ended her short-lived film career.
No, that serves her right, Derek, because she was a nasty Nazi.
Yes.
Horrible.
Yeah. But she was family. Yeah, so she did make one film in her time at the studio, and that film was Dick Whittington. Yes, and as we can see, that's her playing the lead part, Dick Whittington, in the story of the same name. The cat was famously played by Northern ukulele milkman George Formby. But there was a problem with image rights, so this piece of art here doesn't actually feature George. Instead, they just drew a normal cat. But it's massive. It's classic Formby-sized cat. Now, the film, if you were looking for it, doesn't exist anymore. And there's a reason behind this. You see, when it was being shown in the cinemas all through the war, after the war, they found in Nazi documents that the film was actually sending secret coded messages to the Nazi Luftwaffe, informing them of strategic points around London that needed bombing.
Bastards!
Absolutely. But they were Nazis. And George Formby, he just denied any wrongdoing, and he even claimed that the film never existed. But when my Aunt Maureen was asked, she just kept stum. But she did do this a lot. And she did wink, which was a shame. And sadly, she died in 1971 when she jumped of Clacton Pier after a doomed romance with a pork pie salesman from Lewisham called Big Porky. Very sad. But we have got this to remember her by.
I don't really like remembering her, do you?
No, we're going to tear it down after this waltz finished.
Yeah, burn it.
Burn it.
Hello, and welcome to this, the last stop on our tour. Afterwards, we will accept 3 general knowledge questions about everything you've learned during the course of the walking tour and 1 general inquiry about transport links.
And please, let's be clear, there'll be no more refunds available from now. So sorry about that.
Behind this sumptuous pink velour curtain lies one of the wonders of the modern world, Cabaret Petit Pois.
Yes, these corridors would be filled in the late 1920s with all the hoi polloi and elite of London town.
That's right. Lords and ladies, royalties and rascals alike would queue around the block all the way to Surrey Docks just to get a chance to get inside our old house.
Why, I hear you ask? Well, I will tell you why. Because this was the smallest and greatest theatre cabaret in the whole of the world.
All of the greats appeared here, including Emmanuel Fountain and his band of jumping monkeys.
Vincent and Vinny, the telepathic vicious twins.
Wenda Want, the woeful woman who could turn herself inside out.
And who could forget Wacky Lucy and Great Mad James III, a niece and uncle double act who claimed they were undead and could speak to depressed ghosts.
Those wonderful acts did 3 shows every day and 5 on Saturday.
It was a hard schedule, and the dressing rooms were the toilet just round the corner. That got very messy, especially after the monkeys.
The only available light came from a beautiful oil lamp, which was smothered with our Aunt Gladys's rose pink negligee to add a frisson of romantic atmosphere.
And also, our great uncle Phil, he provided the music by playing the musical saw that accompanied all the acts. And in the interval, you could often heard be shouting, "Any requests?" And the audience would shout things, but in reality, he could only play Greensleeves and the musical classic, "My Old Man Was Made Pregnant" by the Milkman.
In 1926, a fire started, caused by an unauthorised Masonic initiation ceremony involving a bag of pork scratchings and a medieval flamethrower. The ensuing conflagration put an end to the star act at the time, the lovely Janice and her amazing, incredible singing and talking bilingual wooden legs.
And sadly then, this beautiful venue closed its curtains for the last time.
Finito.
And if you're careful, you could see the ghost of Janice walking the corridor, speaking in Portuguese and Mandarin, whispering.
No, Derek, no, sorry. Mustn't give away our free stuff for nothing. Our best stuff for nothing, I mean. If you want to tune in next time, you'll hear more spooky tour stories.
Sorry about that,
That's all right.
I've got no idea of money.
The tour's now over, but it has been lovely to have you with us.
And if you like what you've seen or what you heard, whatever you're doing, please tip us poor bastards of the ancient walk.
We've got Bitcoin to invest in.
Yeah, and we've got ancient liqueurs to purchase. Cheerio!
Au revoir.
Bluted. Tiger.
You know, Derek, to the George Formby, you're brilliant at that. You know, what, Windows.
Yeah. Well, this is how he was in the film. He would be, he'd be a sort of cat. Oh, turned out nice again, mother. But in a northern accent. Turned out nice.